Hey guys! Alright, let's just review what we've been working with so far of solving systems of equations. We're going to change this into an augmented matrice, which we've been dealing with. So remember, it's where we get rid of all the letters and just work with the coefficients. So starting with the first bit, we're going to have a 0, and a 2, and a 1, and then we have a 3. And then a 5, 4, 3, negative 1, and 1, negative 3. There's no z, so that gets a 0, and a negative 2. And we make the matrice. And remember, this one's, sorry, turn the arrow on. This one's row 1, row 2, row 3. And we can move them around how we want, and we can do different multiples of things, and we can have lots of fun. So first thing I want to do is I like to have in the upper corner the 1s. If I can have them counting down here, that would be awesome. 0s elsewhere. So we're going to move things around. So I'm going to have row 3, because that's where I'm at, going to row 1. Let's see. If I get this to be like a negative 5, I could add it to here, and I'd have a 0. So I think I'm going to do negative 5, row 3, and I'm going to add it to row 2. And I'm going to put it back there. And I'll put it back at row 2. And then this one, since I moved row 3 to here, I'm going to move row 1 to row 3. Just because I can do all kinds of stuff at once. A little more than I probably should, but yeah, it won't stop me. Alright, so I'm going to start by putting this up to row 1. 1, negative 3, 0, negative 2. Alright, then I want 5 times row 3, and I'm going to add it to this. So negative 5 times 1 is negative 5 plus 5 is 0. Negative 5 times negative 3 is 15 plus 4 is 19. Negative 5 times 0, 0 plus 3 is 3. Negative 5 times negative 2 is 10. Minus 1 is 9. Okay, and then I'm going to put this row in row 3. Alright, making progress. Alright, so if I do negative 3 times this row plus this row, I should get the z terms, the third column, to disappear. So let's try that. Negative 3 times row 3 plus row 2. And that will go back to row 2. I'll just keep it here. Alright, so starting again. Keeping the top the same. 1, negative 3, 0, negative 2. 3 times row 3. So 0 times negative 3 plus 0 is 0. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Plus 19 is 13. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3 plus 3 is 0. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Plus 9 is 0. Alright. And then I'll just keep the row 3 the same. Alright, so if I look here, I don't have everything with 1s down the diagonal, but I do have a row right here where I have zeros in the, so I can get the y by itself. So I have zeros in the x, 0 in the z's. So I can actually solve this. So changing this back, you have 13y, reintroducing the letters, equals 0. Okay, so solve for y. So get rid of the 13, divide by 13, and you get y equals 0. It is possible. It's an answer. Okay. Alright, so since we have y equals 0, I can take that and I can substitute it into the first equation and get my x because that doesn't have a z. I can substitute it back into the third row and I will get the z because it doesn't have an x. So let's look at it. Row 1. Okay, I have 1x, or just x, minus 3, and the y I know is 0, plus 0 equals negative 2. Simplifying all that, this goes away, that goes away. I have x equals negative 2. I don't like that x. Rewrite it. X equals. Okay, and if I had another equation that had more than just zeros in it, I could use both the x and the y right now because I know both of them. But when I look at row 3, I don't need the x. I just need the y. And I can solve for z. So this is 0x plus 2 times 0, because that's my y. I don't need an x, I want 0 times negative 2. Since I know it. It's not going to change anything, but it looks better. A little. Plus z, plus 1z.